segments are going to be about inspiration. It's going to be inspiration. So if you stubbed your toe or you had a bad day at work and, you know, I got back pains and this pain, we're going to show you a creature, a spiritual creature that is going to blow your mind. If you're on Facebook Live, you can watch. And during our 7-minute break, we're actually going to, you know, spend the 7 minutes introducing everybody to Zooming Rosie. And you can really follow her antics because she's really, to me, it's amazing. So to set it up, Zooming Rosie has no, what is she called when you don't have,
paralyzed?
She's paralyzed. She was paralyzed, supposedly abused, supposedly beaten by people. I don't know any of that, and I don't care about it.
She doesn't care either.
She doesn't care either. She is living in this moment in time. And that is the beauty of dogs. When we talk about therapy dogs, you don't have to go buy a therapy dog. You don't have to spend $20,000 in training. This is the grand therapy dog we have here, and she's going to be an ambassador to Hounds Town Charities. I think she's going to be a celebrity. She already is. She has an Instagram page, and you know, she is from California, so she's an amazingly cool dog. So after the break, we're going to talk about the inspirational Zooming Rosie. You're listening to The Dish on Dogs with my friend Ashley Pizzo and the lovely and talented
Zooming Rosie.
Zooming Rosie. I forgot it. All right, listen, folks, please stay with us. We're going to take a couple of minutes break, so we're going to come back. And then during our break, we're going to be on Facebook Live showing you why they call her Zooming Rosie. I just hope she doesn't run through TSA security because this dog is...
she's quick.
She's quick, and I'm not. So we got a problem right off the bat. So let's see if we can actually control her enthusiasm. See you after the break.
What was it?
I don't know. I really
It
don't
might
know.
have just
I
been
tried like a
loose.
whole bunch of things.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, the sound was iffy, but now it's back.
Yeah, I don't know why it was working.
Come on, get them in here.
Come on.
Come on in here, you kooks.
Someone there, someone there.
You can't really see on the camera either, but...
Ooh, it's hot. Toast. You trying to bake Rosie in here, guys? Yeah, the sound was like, it was like static.
Do we got it fixed? How about our
Yeah, it's
microphone?
fixed.
Do we use our microphone or no?
Yeah, we're still live. We can, do you want to back it up now?
Oh, yeah.
What are we
All right.
talking about?
We're going to take a couple minute break and then we're going to come back.
Lovely trip.
And
Therapy
sound.
dogs.
Let's talk about, you know, whatever. We'll just have a conversation.
If you're talking to the mic, like...
You got to be this far away.
Yeah, you just pull it.
60 seconds.
It's a quick one. And then this is kind of our just relative, not that you guys, he'll understand.
I'm nervous. I don't know.
What?
This is so weird.
Pull your mic up close to your
Put
face,
your mic
first
by your
off.
face,
How do I do
Yeah, you have to make sure you guys like talking to the mic.
Yeah.
Is this good?
Speak up. Don't, whoa.
Yeah.
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 Oh, Danielle.
It's not like blocking your face.
Don't break anything.
Your mom is watching.
Your
dear.
mother's watching. Danielle's mother. Oh. Don't wreck the place. Come on now. I'll put this on my bill.
It's not working.
There. Just put your face towards the mic. Oh, so this is the aggravation I get all day long.
10 seconds.
That's
This is like about to fall.
just, yeah, that's all. You don't have to move it. Just
I'm not
talk
touching
into
it.
Right.
In 5, 4, 3.
Oh, hi, Mike Gould here. Sorry about that. Jackie's texting me over here. I'm getting in trouble. I can't win. Oh, Maron. So, yeah, Mike Gould here, Mayor of Hounds Town USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. We're back from our break. For those of you lucky enough and sophisticated enough to be on Facebook Live, you'll see we have the lovely Sam with us and Danielle, members of our charity who trekked off to California to pick up Rosie last week. It was an amazing trip. Hi, girls.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You're all recuperated. We all had jet lag. You feel better?
Oh yeah, a lot better.
All right, good. So again, the news of the day is Zooming Rosie here from California. She's a spiritual, inspirational being. She has no use of her back legs. And after this segment, we're going to go outside in the airport and see if we can demonstrate why people shouldn't feel sorry. Dogs don't feel sorry for themselves. Humans feel sorry for themselves. She wakes up every day, and she's really, really cool. So tell a little bit, Ashley, what we did. We went to California, the four of us.
Yes, the four of us went to California. That was a interesting experience. But no, it was very cool. I mean, especially for someone who's never been there before, you know, all the sights and everything that's there. You know, the highlight, I mean, of the trip, besides Rosie, for me, and I'm assuming the other girls too, was, you know, we went to Runyon Canyon, which is where you guys originally met Rosie,
Right.
Mike and Jackie. So, you know, it's just cool that, you know, we talked about leash aggression last episode, and, you know, there's no leash aggression there. The dogs aren't even leashed. They're running around this huge canyon.
Right.
People aren't looking at the dogs or talking to them. It's just very natural
Right.
environment. You know, there's not dog fights, and these are anywhere from, I'd say, 4-pound dogs to 100-pound dogs running around this
Right.
canyon with their owners.
Right, well, that's an interesting observation. So, and I think you're right. So the thing is, because out in LA, the weather is kind of consistently good, so dogs aren't locked inside for the winter. So there's a nice morphic kind of chill where people aren't as uptight. New
Right,
Yorkers are
right.
uptight.
There's not like anxiety and nervousness.
Anxiety.
And
How do you girls feel about that?
Yeah, I felt the same. I mean, we met blind dogs that were walking this canyon, but it was amazing. The people there, the energy was a lot different. I loved it. Runyon Canyon was probably the best part for sure. It was amazing.
Yeah, so we had a good time. We met some interesting people. I met Melrose Larry Green. For those people who are older than 30, I got my new BFF, Melrose Larry Green, so I met him down on Hollywood Boulevard. So it was a really good experience. And so the thing is, we talk about therapy dogs, and it's kind of cliche when we say, you know, well, people thank us for Hounds Town charities. They thank us all the time. Some people donate money, which is very well received, very generous, and we need it, of course. And they thank us for what we do. And I always say, it sounds a little corny, it's not what we do for the dogs. I think we all agree it's what the dogs do for us. And we have several dogs in our charity that give us back a lot, right? So we have Diamond and we have Cappuccino. But do you kind of agree? You girls, I mean, you really enjoy this.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it so much. It's super rewarding.
Super rewarding. So Danielle, what was the best part of the trip for you? Besides going to the bars. Natural
habitat.
Natural habitat.
You enjoy being in that natural habitat, right?
I enjoyed Runyon Canyon a lot too. And then just meeting Rosie was probably the best part because I just love her.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So that's what happens with a dog. You don't need to spend, as I said, this whole notion of therapy dogs is kind of ridiculous, honestly. I'm going to say that because that's how I feel. It's my opinion, as we say. But we don't put pressure on dogs. Dogs are as afraid of flying as most humans are. So I don't know. If you see most therapy dogs, and I'll give you this challenge, if you meet most therapy dogs, they don't really look that happy because you're putting your own... can't say shit. I mean, you put your own problems. You project on a dog.
Right.
So we took care of Rosie on the way back. We didn't ask her to take care of us. I wasn't petting you guys. Wasn't petting Rosie, so you can get through your flight. We were taking care of Rosie. You should be taking care of your dog, not the other way around. The dog shouldn't be taking care of you. So if you want to know what's therapeutic, for those of you watching, Ashley's petting Rosie, and that makes her feel good. That's a fact of scientific fact, that dogs bring out that emotion because they're not non-judgmental. They just want to know if you're not going to hurt her, she's going to provide all the love and affection she can. She doesn't need special airline training. She doesn't, as I said, more often than not, the therapy dogs, the so-called therapy dogs, which, by the way, the airlines is going to do away with because people are taking absolute advantage. I've talked to pilots. JetBlue, by the way, they were like super cool.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah, they were amazing.
The official airline of Hounds Town USA. No, they were. They went out of their way. They were amazing. And, so they're going to do away with it because everybody and their mother, you pay $150, you get a certificate in the mail, say you have a a therapy dog, and it's just, you know, the airline travel has become like Noah's Ark to me. It's
Right.
more animals than there are people. Well, the people sometimes are more animals than the dogs. All right. So anyway, what do we want to say about? So what is Rosie's? First, I want to thank Danielle not this Danielle, the Danielle from Luna Siberian Rescue, because they are the absolute coolest people. Because don't forget, folks, you know, when you see dogs like Rosie, they're extremely hard to adopt out because there's a certain amount of expense, and it's very. I mean,
time-consuming,
what's some
Yeah.
of her physical problems?
I mean, you know, we have to take care of her. We got to release her bladder for her. I mean, there's things like that you just got to be on top of. So, you know, for a normal person, it's not going to be, you know, the first go-to for adoption. So, you know, Danielle was amazing. Took her in for a year and a half, you know, and took care of her.
Yeah.
And she has 7 other dogs.
And she has 7 other dogs she takes care of.
Right.
Yeah.
It was kind of really cool to
And
see that.
yeah,
Right.
they all live, you know, happy lives. But you know,
It's very
It's a forever
touching when
home.
we go to these places and you have a woman like Danielle. She works full time. She's not, you know, she's trying to do the best she can, and she's taking in these really difficult to adopt dogs. We do the same thing. So we want, my goal personally is to take Rosie, bring her into our home, our heart, and then have her become an ambassador for dogs with disabilities,
Right.
just like humans, and inspire people. And that's what I want her. That's what's going to happen. We're going to take her all over the world, and she's going to be given shout-outs from the top of the Swiss Alps, and we're going to get her involved with kids in hospitals, because again, there is something about any dog. A puppy, you pet them, you feel is good, but I think the fact that she's pretty significantly disabled and young, and she
Right.
got such a great spirit.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
she'll be much more inspirational to other
Yeah,
people.
than just the average dog.
yeah.
I agree. Okay. I have a sip of coffee. I have 3 people here. I thought I could take a sip of coffee. Then I get blamed. Jackie says I talk too much. So I can't win here, you know? I'm staring at 6 eyeballs there. Rosie, would you please take over the mic? Oh, you babe. So yeah, so
God.
Runyon Canyon. So let's talk quickly because we're going to go to a break. And then during the break, is this the 7-minute
Yes,
segment? Right.
yes.
So how we met, Jackie and I were there's this place called Runyon Canyon. It's up in the Hollywood Hills, up by the Hollywood Hills sign. It's way up there in the top of the hills there. And Jackie, every year or so, convinces me that I should try to hike, which is really my version of walking or limping or practically crawling. So about a month ago, Jackie and I was going up Runyon Canyon because it's the cool thing to do, and I'm pretty cool. Everybody will admit to that fact. But so I try to make my way up this thing, and it's really pathetic. And I got to the top, and I'm trying to gasp for air, and I sit down at the very.
You were talking a
top.
lot of game that you were gonna walk us up the canyon.
Yeah,
the
I
first
think there was
time, and-
moment in times. I'm talking about the month.
He was keeping me
before.
and him were neck and neck, so
We were
I
neck
can't
and
even
neck.
say anything.
And there was all these
You weren't doing well. No, it wasn't well.
Living, fresh air, all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, I just went to Pink's hot dogs.
had 4
4
hot
hot dogs.
dogs.
All right, we don't say the amount, but I had.
Sorry about that.
Geez, listen. But the point is, we were up there, Jackie and I, sitting up there. I'm trying to resuscitate myself, and here comes this dog in a wheelchair and a flag coming up, and it's zooming Rosie, and she is like, was not out of breath. He was just fine. She climbed the mountain. It's a mountain, probably a hill, in a wheelchair. And that's how we met her, zooming Rosie. And from that moment, Jackie and I collaborated for about 2 minutes and said, we're going to get Rosie. Then the girls here from Hounds Town Charities and I flew out. And by the way, I couldn't have done it without them, honestly, because she is kind of needy. And so these girls really helped me out, and I couldn't. So stay tuned. For you guys on Facebook, watch. We're going to take zooming Rosie. Let her zoom around. All right, guys. Let's see if we can take her out.
We want to do no wheelchair first, right?
Yes. Let's go outside, girls.
Move your back.
Perfect.
She's ready. She's
Pick her up and put her over by the things over there.
It is over there. You're also still on camera. Huh? Don't forget.
So you got us live here?
Yes,
Come
I
on,
do.
girls, get over here. So we're going to start. Now this looks a little strange, but you got to understand, zooming Rosie, this doesn't bother her. She's got full power in her arm, so it looks a little weird. Put her down. Let's see how she zooms. Rosie girl! So what I'd like you to note is her personality. If she was in any kind of discomfort, she wouldn't move. Let's show how much she loves me. This doesn't happen often. So, Rosie girl! Yeah. She almost walks. This is the kind of love, Rosie girl. Rosie girl. That's Rosie. Oh, there she goes. Rosie girl. Come on, girlfriend. So, now throw her in her. Let's get her buggy. Rosie girl. Good girl. Good girl, Rose. She looks a little like a kangaroo. Good girl, Rose. I love you. We love Rosie. We love Rosie. Yikes. So, if this isn't inspirational, I don't know what more I can do for you guys. That's fine.
You're gonna plop her in?
Yeah, we're gonna plop her in. Yeah, we need the long lead because I'm afraid she's gonna zoom off.
She's ready to go.
And the little shaking in her hind legs, she's not in any kind of discomfort. Believe me, I'm in more discomfort than she is. And we'll put her zooming Rosie. Remember, Instagram zooming Rosie. And then we're gonna put that there. We're gonna put this long line on, and she'll see. She's my girl. Anybody interested in having Zooming Rosie come to your school or work, anybody who's depressed and feeling sorry for themselves, let us know. We'll bring Zooming Rosie, give you a nice wet kiss. All right, let's go. Come on, Rose. Come on, Rose. Rosie girl. Come on, Rose. Come on, Rosie. Rosie. Come on, Rose. Rosie. Come on. She fell out of a wheelchair. I'm mean. Big mean man. Don't come to me. Maybe. How much we got there? Good? 5 minutes. All right, I screwed that up. What else is new? HoundsTownCharities.org. Houndstown Charities. See all the amazing dogs that are really phenomenal. Cappuccino, Diamond. I might have broke her wheelchair. That sounds so pathetic. I broke a poor dog's wheelchair. What's the problem? Rosie girl. Yeah. Come on, babe. Hang on, she's coming a little tight up here. Come on, Rose. Rosie girl. Yeah. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Here's my baby. Here's my baby girl. I think she actually does better without her wheelchair, but. There's my zooming Rosie. Do you see any discomfort there? Do you see a dog in pain? She has no aggression towards it. Let's say this. If she was abused, she has no aggression towards anybody. She don't hold grudges. Rosie girl. Rosie girl. She's not traumatized by being... All right, she's leaving. All right, so that's our girl zooming Rosie. Get low. Let's get low.
Come here.
All right, I'm going back in the studio. I've done enough damage. There's my Rosie. There you go, Rosie. Right into the studio. There she goes. Good. All right, we got 2 minutes. Let's get back in there, girls. That was beautiful, Rosie. Take that in. Ah, the girl. Perfect. All right.
Oh, Rose.
Oh gosh.
Take her up. Get yourself set up again.
Oh, sorry, Melissa. Yes, good girl. Dee, your mom said she should be a therapy dog at Stony Brook.
She should. She's not wrong. She would.
Can you hear us? Are we good? Oh, we gotta plug in. Well, let's test the audio.
And then at the end, we just have to make a quick transfer out here because somebody else comes in, so we just gotta write
Throw
things
it out and then
down.
we'll pack it up.
60 seconds.
Let's give everyone a
Dave, can you text your mom to make sure? Oh,
That's my mom.
see if she can hear us. Can everybody hear us?
Twenty.
I just texted her. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. We're good.
Ten. In 5, 4, 3.
Wave everybody to the folks on Facebook.
Oh my god.
Don't forget your cue.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I'm your host, Mike Gould. You're listening to The Dish on Dogs. And for those of you on Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, you should go to our Facebook page or somehow, actually, how can people, if they don't watch Facebook, how can they see this amazing dog that's not,
If they don't have Facebook,
yeah, if they don't have Facebook.
then they can't watch.
Can't you put videos up on our Hounds Town
Yeah, on
charity?
our right. So
Hounds-
Hounds Town Radio, we are posting this, but the Hounds Town charity page.
HoundsTownCharities.org, I think, is
Right.
the place to go to be inspired. So all of our dogs, Hounds, and by the way, I'm here with Sam and Danielle, and I can't thank Danielle out in LA more for making this happen. They bent over backwards in the Luna Siberian Husky Rescue.
Yes.
They were awesome, so I can't thank them enough. So I got to make sure, and then I got to make a shout out to all our, people that support the charity. We have a lot of people out there that support the charity. So usually we talk about the charity in the fourth segment, but in this segment, I just want to talk a little about her. And so part of our charity, a very important component is the tagline is rehabilitating people through dogs. So a lot of people do wonderful things for dogs. There's many rescues. We like to talk about we take care of the dog brain, right? So sometimes people take care of the dog's physical needs, vet care, bedding, shelter, the best things, best food, but they don't always. We have the ability to take care of the dog brain. So we do it all day long in doggy daycare. We're taking care of the dog brain, right? People bring their dogs. They don't understand how we even do it, how we put a pack of 25 dogs together. So now we take these very special dogs that certainly are inspirational to us. So we've had many, right? The Cappuccino.
Yeah.
He's a huge example.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Which one of all the charity dogs that, not that we have favorites, but we all do kind of connect to a dog. Like I connect to Rosie. Why? Because she happens to like me. And that's highly unusual for, she's connected to
Most
me.
of the females.
Most of the females in my life. It seems to be a theme in my life, and I guess she is a two-legged. So it's unusual that she. So when you think, Danielle, of all the dogs, Cappuccino, Dill, some of these Joe, Wilbur. I mean, there have been very. What's the word? They're just really in bad shape when we got them, psychologically and physically.
And to see the change.
To see the change is amazing. Right, so if you look at Cappuccino's video, you'll see he was so badly abused it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was like right off an ASPCA commercial.
Right, was that right? It was really hard to watch, but the beauty is, once he got better, the therapy isn't just allowing him to be a dog. This is the funny thing to me, is that we got blind dogs that navigate through our playrooms. I bet people that you wouldn't be able to pick out which is the blind dog or a deaf dog. So Joe was another example of that. Joe was a dog 7 years in a shelter, Joe, because he had signs of aggression. He was labeled a red dog. But what nobody realized, very nice people, but they never realized Joe was completely deaf. And when you think about when you take your dogs to the vet and stuff. For years. And nobody diagnosed them with that. So anyway, Danielle, we need you to talk a little for your mom. What of all those dogs, what's the most meaningful to you? Like when you interact with dogs?
I think Spike. Spike's definitely, he's like I don't know, I feel like he's definitely misunderstood.
Right.
I mean, he does have some aggression towards
Right, he's
people,
bitten, to be honest, he's bitten every one of our employees, but so what? So
Good
what?
boy.
He's still a good boy, right? It's like my
Yeah, and by
grandson.
bite, we don't mean these like leaving.
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, listen.
It's a love fight. It's a love
That means
fight.
he likes you.
But
Oh my God.
here's the toxic way of human being. So a dog only has a mouth. It has no other capacity to call for help, do anything. So it resolves its conflict with its mouth. So it bites. Spike bites people he doesn't trust. He's like me. He has trust issues. So he bites people. And that's it. So he only does it when his space is violated. And not everybody gets bit by Spike.
No,
right?
No, I haven't.
Right. I have. But so what? It's, to me, when a dog bites, obviously there's tragic dog bites. We see it all the time. But it's really never the dog's fault. I hate to tell you that, and I know I might sound insane when we hear these horrendous stories of dogs mauling people. It's horrendous. But at the end of the day, there is a human that allowed that to happen, that they either allowed the dog to become aggressive, they didn't understand his aggression.
Yeah, it's out of fear.
Right, and they allowed children to interact with him. So at the end of the day, I don't care what anyone says. And I deal with the horrendous parts. I've seen children mauled by dogs. I've seen these horrible, horrible situations. But at the end of the day, I can say this emphatically, it's never the dog. So if a lion gets out of the zoo and runs through Central Park, it's not the lion's fault, it's the zookeeper's fault, right? So, and then, but of course what happens is the lion gets shot, the dog gets shot. So Spike, if we went by the fact that if he bit somebody, he'd get put to sleep, he would be in dog heaven 7 years ago, right?
Yeah, he's
But once he gets you and understands you, he's perfect, right? So,
Yeah.
so Spike, did he ever bite you,
No,
Sam?
no. It was never.
He's not bitten all of our employees, by the way. He's probably just Tyler.
Just
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're overconfident sometimes.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but I tease. And we all talk about dog aggression, why dogs do bite. Like Sam said, 95% of dog bites, if not higher, is what we call fear-motivated aggression. It's a misunderstanding of something that a human is doing. And if a human gets in their space, they very quickly, if you corner a dog that's fearful, he's going to bite you because they don't have the ability for fight or flight, which all mammals have. But dogs are our captive, so they can't run away. They can't go to the next door neighbor. They can't call a lawyer. They can't tell you how much you suck. So dogs, they bite out of fear 9 times out of 10. And it's spatial, and people don't respect dogs. And when you put your face by a dog's face, I see the outcomes of those. I see that it's like the gun going off. It's not the gun's fault. It's somebody who mismanaged the gun. They left the loaded gun around. So it's very frustrating to us because all of us would agree, I think, that we have all these amazing dogs. And if you heard the stories, the human backstory, you would think they were like Cujo.
Yeah.
And then they come to our place and they run. Joe, for example, highly aggressive towards humans. When we put him in with a pack of other dogs, he just chilled out. It balanced his aggression and his energy out. And that's the most remarkable thing to us. But you have stories of dogs coming in. Like I said, they come in and the humans, very nice people, by the way. I'm not insinuating completely.
No.
Well, some, obviously, some people are a little kooky. But by and large, people are very loving and caring. But they very rarely, as I say, take care of the brain of the dog. They don't provide the leadership and structure. So if the doorbell rings and your dog goes ballistic, it's because it's afraid and you're not taking care of the door for him. He feels the need to do it. And then humans, of course, start sending conflicting information. They want the dog to sometimes bark. They want the dog, which is ridiculous. They want the dog to bark at a burglar. But a dog can't make a moral decision of what a burglar is. So if you encourage that, there's some people that encourage that behavior, which is insane to me. So it's just a toxic world, honestly. We have these wonderful dogs that we've removed from their natural pack, and we just confused the hell out of them. We just did a seminar yesterday, actually, with who was there? Who did we have yesterday? Huh?
Smithtown?
Right, town of Smithtown came. And we did kind of our version. And in the dog world, it's pretty toxic because everybody, oh, there goes Rosie. She sees somebody.
Police officer.
Police officer, no less. Don't bark at the police officer. They're not supposed to be here. They'll confiscate you. They'll deport you back to Armenia, where you came from. You don't want to go back there. Rosie, don't bark at the policeman. Jeez, Rosie. I was my stomach growling, folks, for you. That wasn't Rosie. She would never. So anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but it's just an amazing thing. And as again, I feel what the most loving people. Sometimes I think they're abusive. I see people that overfeed their dogs, and it's really hard because they're not doing it maliciously. If you get a rescue dog, if you look at Rosie, you would think she's skinny, and then you start overfeeding them. You want to take them into our home and try to nurture them back, which is, of course, smart, but we can also, it's not always healthy for the dogs. Our instincts, our human instincts of what we think we need. Actually, when she got out of the airport at Kennedy, she was kind of happy. I think she enjoyed the cold weather, So I think
she was loving it.
Yeah, she was loving the cold weather, even though she was...
Yeah, she was sprightly.
She was what?
She was sprightly. She was running around.
Yeah. So it's the show, The Dish on Dogs, our goal. We're a little off topic tonight because we're so excited to bring you Zooming Rosie. But we're trying to bridge that gap of how much you love your dog and your human emotion that is kind of ambiguous and sometimes toxic, to be honest with you. And Rosie's emotions are pure. She has emotions, and she wants to bond with other people. But she's not ambiguous about it. You don't hurt her, she'll love you. Dish on Dogs, join us after the break.
You can talk past the 0 marker.
Who said?
Joe said.
Joe said?
Yes, you don't have to right to 0.
I'm going to ask him about that because I don't know if that's true.
Fake news.
I think that's
It is
fake.
fake news.
Fake news! Ashley Pizzo reporting live.
She's in Bizzo.
We should call Joe in right now.
No.
Yeah, Joe, come on in.
He's going to growl at her. But no, leave him alone. So,
60 seconds.
all right, good. We got right back into it. So I don't know what we're going to talk about.
We're going to have to
Talk about charities
Oliver.
more?
Oh, Oliver.
Oliver
Yeah.
who?
And Melrose Larry Green.
Oliver who?
He was that dog we saw in the lobby of the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what the critics are saying
What are we talking about?
so far. Jackie, how we doing? Talk to the people live. Hello, people live. Thanks for watching. I hope we're entertaining. Give us some advice. Give us some feedback. I know I talk too much. I interrupt others.
A lot of people are agreeing with you.
But if you watched before
30 seconds.
I stopped talking, and guess what? I was looking at 6 eyeballs. So give me a break. Oh my God. Let Ashley talk. Let Sam talk. Oops.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, the mayor of Hounds Town USA, home to the absolute happiest dogs on earth. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, you'll see our new member of the Hounds Town family, who, as I said during Facebook Live, if folks out there, if you have a school event or some kind of event, and you need a real inspirational presence, you can't get you a speaker, but we can bring Zooming Rosie, and we can bring her to whatever event, and obviously for me, it's hard to be sad about things when you look at Rosie and her dragging her butt all over town. And she practically left the airport before. I mean, she was actually going out to call an Uber. So she's so she is truly an inspiration. And we tried to have all of our dogs that are in our program, Hounds Town Charities, they have something to really give back. It's not, like I said, we don't put pressure on dogs to do things for us. Could you imagine me? I'm 220 pounds. I have arthritis. I can barely walk. Do you think it would be fair to an 80-pound dog for me to use that dog for stability? You know, we have stability dogs, right?
Right, yeah.
So an 80-pound lab is going to be my stability dog. How about I get a walker or a cane? I mean, not for nothing. I'm being serious about it. I'm not being, what's the word? I'm not being like dismissive or anything. I used to train therapy dogs. We used to train therapy dogs till I realized that I'm taking the spirit out of the dog and the life out of the dog for my own kind of selfish needs. I mean, it looks, you know, it's not always what it appears. And I've been dealing with, you know, all types of therapy dogs. And there is a need, but frankly, as technology improves, there's less of a need. So it's just one of my little things. So I want Rosie here and all of our dogs to be who they want to be. If they want to chase a frisbee, they chase the frisbee. I don't tell them what to chase. I don't feel bad that I got a dog and that doesn't want to chase a frisbee. Right, Rosie? So anyway, sometimes by this point in the show I get aggravated because I start thinking about humans too much. Right? What do you think about what I'm saying? You can agree or disagree.
I agree with it. I mean, when I was on my honeymoon, we went to, we did a day in Universal, and there was these two people, they looked like they're in their 20s, a boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm assuming, and they were fully dressed in Harry Potter costumes, and they had this poor dog as their therapy dog walking with them, and they're drinking normally, and
right.
It was over 100 degrees that day,
right.
And this dog is like overheated,
right.
Overweight, wanted nothing. It was right. An older dog,
and that's what I say a lot of times. And again, not to dismiss disability. So I'm legitimately diagnosed with PTSD. So, but I don't need a special dog for that. I don't need a dog to fly with me. So Rosie is my therapy dog. I don't need a special dog to absorb whatever my PTSD. How it manifests itself. This is my opinion. Right. So if you get some kind of relief, of course, people should. I want to give dogs to homeless people and people that are homebound, but they don't have to be special dogs. They just have to be. There's millions of dogs in the shelters right now. Which, by the way, Bruno next week is our most recent dog that we've taken from the town of Brookhaven. So if you watch next week, we're going to bring Bruno here. Now, he's a different dog. He's not like Rosie.
No,
he's
a
China shop. And, of course, that's how he ended up in the shelter. So these dogs are not inherently bad dogs.
No.
But people get them, and they can't manage them. So Bruno is a Brutus. He's like, 90 pounds of solid muscle.
Yeah.
He is a bully breed. He's one of those, those bully breeds. And he doesn't have a malicious bone in his body, but he has the energy of an ox. So where is he going to go? He can't go to a home with 5-year-old children.
That's how he got in the shelter.
Exactly.
He little kids over.
He got exactly.
Like that.
So if he knocks your child off the porch, it doesn't matter if he attacked you or not. Sadly, that's how the story goes. The dog ends up in the shelter. So people get these dogs, and again, I can't help. I can't help it, but there's some level of, I like to say, frustration when we go to these shelters. That's the other part to this. We don't live in a bubble. We go to these shelters, every shelter on Long Island, they're overpacked with misunderstood dogs, not bad dogs. And obviously, if you can't get a 3-year-old Cocker Spaniel adopted, you're not going to get an 80-pound, 5-year-old Doberman or Rottweiler or Pit Bull adopted, because people are selfish. So they don't think they're selfish. They want what they want. They want the dog they had when they were a kid. They want the dog that the neighbor has that lays on. They never want the dog, the spirit of the dog. If anybody did, dogs like Rosie wouldn't be at risk of being euthanized. I don't know how in the world, I'll put a guilt trip on everybody. How in the world could you euthanize this dog Rosie that you saw running around there? I mean, it's sickening to me to even think. But all of our dogs, we laugh because here's the question. If we're not these, if you see the girls here, they're not big mouths like me with a beard and deep voice. If they could manage every one of these dogs, every one that I talk about, Bruno, they're all the red dogs. If they can manage them, the people that are watching can manage. We're not special. We're not magic. In fact, we don't do much. We just allow them to be who they are, and that's the secret. So I get it, it's offensive to me sometimes, you know, and I meet, you know, people and they're very nice and they think they're doing, it's just amazing to me how distorted their thoughts can be, right? And we
Yeah.
see that all the time. All right, I've talked enough. Somebody talk for a minute.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
take our Handcuffs to Healing program. You know, we had 6 amazing dogs. They look like, you know, Motley Crue when they were together. You know, they're all these kind of degenerates. You know, but most of them left with homes.
The
you know.
inmates of the dogs. Are you talking about? All right.
Well, you know, and it's amazing that when they came in to when they left, I mean, you can look at Minty. You know, when he came in, I didn't think there was any shot that he was going to get a home, but, you know, by training and doing the program, he's in the home with another dog and doing better than
Right.
ever. I mean, it's so simple.
Right, exactly. We keep it simple. So that is a good program. I actually forgot. So we do something called Handcuffs to Healing. Very clever. Handcuffs to Healing. So we created this program where we take shelter dogs. Shelter dogs that are kind of, they're in a bad situation. They're incarcerated. They're misunderstood, and their future is bleak. The inmates, ironically, are in the same situation. So we not only bonded, so when we say there has to be a human element to it, so we took, as Sam said, a motley crew of dogs, and we hooked them up with a motley crew of inmates. Doesn't mean they're bad. These inmates, I enjoyed the company of each one of them. I actually enjoyed visiting them, because you'll get an honesty from an inmate that you won't
No,
get
than anyone else on the street.
Right, whether it's true or whatever their perspective on life is, there's an honesty to it. And with dogs, that's all you get is honesty. They cannot be dishonest. Dogs cannot be dishonest. They're pure. They're not racist. Rosie's alerting us to terror outside. Thank you, Rosie. So dogs can't be racist. They can't be homophobic. They can't be all these toxic things. They're not Republican. They're not Democratic. They're pure. And they respect boundaries. And if humans learned one lesson from a dog, just like Rosie, just respect her as a dog. She's not complaining. She's not asking you for money for her handicap or her wheelchair. I don't even think she likes a damn wheelchair.
No, I don't think so either.
Jackie and I
Probably
are
around.
constantly discussing whether she likes to scoot or to pull her wheelchair. So the funny part is dogs are amazing. We all know that. We all obviously here, Danielle would agree, I think, that dogs, we like dogs. You and I like dogs better than humans.
Way better than humans.
Way better. There's not present company excluded, of course. We like Joe. We like them. Yeah. So yeah, because why do we like them? Why are dogs more popular? As Jackie will say, dog ownership is like a $65 million or billion a year industry. It's out of control. A lot of it we'll talk about on next week's show is the sociological phenomena that we're isolating ourselves. And we're toxic to one another, so at the end of the day, we can come home and all of our politics, all of our toxic is boiled down to just petting a dog. You can come home drunk, the dog don't care. You can come home with somebody else's phone number.
Dog's not
No
judging.
judgment.
No judgment, no judgment. Remember that, Jackie. Yeah, so Jackie, she met me at the door in a negligee the other day.
Oh my gosh, Mike.
Yeah, but she was coming home. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
You guys don't know Henny Youngman, so I'm sorry. I had to get that one in there. Our mothers listen. Eileen, I'm sorry. I'm only
I don't know
kidding.
if she's on there right now. She'll watch it later.
Yeah. So anyway, so you're listening to The Dish on Dogs, HoundsTownUSA.com for all of the needs. Follow us on, Oliver, I forgot to say, give a shout out to Oliver. The Marriott hotels are like super cool. So they were so nice to us. And we met a dog named Oliver, a French bulldog. We'll post his video online. We promised, right? You have it.
I have it, yeah.
Danielle has Oliver's video. He's another cool dog that we just stumbled across at the Marriott in Marina del Rey. Beautiful place, beautiful people. Next week, bye.
See you later.
What's the matter? What'd you say? Hi, Facebook Live. Are we still on or no?
Yep.
Well, we
Oh,
gotta
we
watch
are.
what we
Yep.
say.
Hello.
We love it.
Your mom.
Hi,
Shout
Danielle.
out.
Danielle's
Shout out.
mom.
Shout out to your
Your
fans.
daughter's wonderful. She's abused. Your daughter's abused by her coworkers. Just put a little down.
No way. There's no live show after you.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get out of here.
No, there's
Oh,
no
oh,
live
oh,
show.
good, oh, good. Hey, hey, Rosie,
Rosie.
cut it out. Don't bite the boss.
Cut it out.
It was fun, right? You guys did good.
I love it.
I can't have
All right.
headphones on. I can't hear
Another-
myself speaking, so I.
Yeah, I would
All right, I think maybe we'll pick her up and put her in her, do something with her. Let's get out of here.
Really?
Cigar time.
Cigar time.
Cigar time. Let me know when we're not on Facebook Live, so I don't do anything inappropriate. I have-
Too late.
I have-
Let me end that now.
Still
All right.
live, Jackie.
Okay,
Say bye,
goodbye.
Jackie.